Hello, Blackprint. This is your man Reg Hatchet with yet another episode. This is episode 13. Boy, do I have a treat for you guys. I have two lovely melanated sisters who are doing big things in the various industry. So, without further ado, I'm just going to bring them on so they could tell you about all of the great things that they have going on. So, first, let me bring on my dear friend and Griffin. Hey, Angie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. How are you, sister?
I am great. How are you?
I'm well. Let me bring on Miss Famecia. How are you, Queen?
Hey, how you? Doing
I'm
good?
doing well. I'm doing
Good.
well. I see you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice, nice,
My other
nice.
favorite place to be.
Okay. So let's get started right away with you two. I'm sure both of you guys the opportunity to kind of explain what it is that you do, your passion, and like basically what you got going on right now. So we'll start with you, Angie. Let's what you got going on and basically who you are.
Well, my name is Angelina. Everybody calls me Angie. Angie Griffin is what I'm known by. I have a lot of different roles. You know, as we women, we tend to have multiple roles, but professionally, I'm in a couple of industries. Actually in the real estate industry, and I'm in the insurance industry, and I also provide legal services. So the name of my business is Value Family Legacy. I call myself a legacy consultant. You know,
Mm,
I believe wholeheartedly, and what I'm noticing a lot of people now talking about. I think it's amazing that it's now a trending topic, the topic of generational wealth and creating a legacy. I come from a family of legacy builders. You know, from the Griffin firm, PLLC, their estate planners. You know, I grew up watching, you know, people sell off their land and sell off their houses and lose so much, and nothing got left behind. So that's one of my passions. So of course I had to dive into that in the industry. But yeah, I do that with through building generational wealth through real estate as well as life insurance. So that's just one of two or three things that I do.
mm. Right. A small glimpse. Okay.
Just a little. I mean, as far as the professional side, my day jobs.
Got you. Okay. And Miss Famecia, um, tell us about more about who you are and more about fame and all that type of stuff that you have going on.
I am Famecia Ward. I am an actress and a singer. Do you have any feedback? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine.
Okay. I'm an actress and a singer. Recently, I formulated F.A.M.E Productions, and we are tackling film, music, and consulting. We're working on producing a couple of scripts. We have an artist by the name of B. Gaucher, who is a songwriter and a songstress. So we're working on her project. And we recently started this week F.A.M.E Academy, in which we are taking young creatives and helping them channel their energy into these different directions, whether they want to act or whether they want to sing, whether they want to do musical theater. We're just pooling our resources and helping young students who have this gift know that they have a resource in a village that's willing to help them attain their goals.
Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And let me point out I just believe in divine intervention. I believe in energy. I believe in energies attracting each other. So I just noticed this right off the rip, right? You have on a Heaven and Hell shirt
That's right.
from Hartford, right?
Always representing. Yes,
So
most
the,
definitely.
the guy who created that, his store, Anthony Griffin, is related to Angie Griffin.
Get
So
out of here.
that was planned. That was
That's
not that
Oh,
was not
wow.
that was not planned. That was not that was kind of just a universe showing us that this union today was meant to happen.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Shout out to him. I haven't seen him in ages.
Right? He's a legend. He's definitely a legend. So, those are the ones who help pave the road for artists like myself to know that, coming from Hartford, there were big things being done. Look at Lorna. You had June Archer. You've got I know I'm missing some names, but you have tons of people who have come out of Hartford, not just from music or film, but from basketball, politics. So Hartford is small, but they definitely made a big statement out here.
And now, Angie, you are originally from Springfield, Mass, correct?
I am born in Springfield, Massachusetts, raised in Atlanta, GA.
You still have a lot of family out in Springfield?
Absolutely. Springfield's home. It's definitely home for me. So, yeah.
So, in your travels, I happen to notice personally that you have lived multiple places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
East Coast. What city would you say was your favorite to be in, and why?
Gosh, Reggie, I feel like you just put me on the spot. It's hard to say because every city I've lived in is different. Not one of them are the same. And I feel connected in different ways to every place that I've lived. Being born in Springfield is my foundation. That's where my mom is from. That's where my daddy's from. That's where my grandparents are from. That's where I was really raised before moving as a teenager down south. But, moving to Georgia at the age of 13, 14 years old, that's obviously what raised me and made me a young woman, right? Or really made me a woman. That's how I got into all the industries that I got into. That's how I created the networks that I've created over the years. I mean, it was like my development part. And then moving to Maryland, that's just a whole nother, that was just different. I think I have a different kind of connection to there. You know what I found out, Reg? After living in Baltimore for a while, I actually found out that my great-grandfather was born in Baltimore.
Wow.
I never knew that.
Mm.
And then, when I first moved to Maryland from Georgia, I lived in District Heights. I found out as I was moving to District Heights that my grandmother lived in District Heights. That's where my uncles and everybody, as little kids, they went to school because my grandfather was in the military and he was stationed at Fort Andrews.
Mm.
So I had all these different type of connections to the places, and I never knew it until I got there, right?
And you weren't aware that you knew them, but you knew them.
Clearly.
I believe in that. Those places drew you there. Your ancestors drew you there without your knowledge of what was happening.
And it was such a blessing. I look at all my moves as spiritual moves, right? I didn't want to go to Georgia when I moved to Georgia. I wanted to be in Springfield. That's all my friends were. That's where my family was. As a kid, you don't want to just up and move, but we had to. But then when I, made the decision to move to Maryland, that was a spiritual transition for me. Even coming to Florida. Now I'm in Florida, Orlando, and it was totally spiritual. So I feel like every move that I made was a spiritual move, and I'm just grateful because I know I've been led there. It's not unintentional, right?
So Famecia, I hear that word spirituality. I know that's very big to you as well.
Yes, most definitely.
Let me give you a quick story. I knew you for a very long time, but I was at June Archer. You mentioned June Archer. I was at June Archer's Hot Chocolate Bowl one time, and you performed. And I was just like, "Yo, she's a superstar!" You know what I mean? It was a certain type of energy that was. It was about 15 to 20 performances that night.
Right.
Yours was so different. What do you feel is your main passion? Is it singing? Is it acting? Is it songwriting? Is it philanthropy?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. My first passion was always singing, and I encountered so much when it came to my voice because my voice was really different, and a lot of people were afraid of that different sound at the time. They thought that it just wasn't fit for radio. And as a young Black female, hearing that, it kind of played into insecurities I already had. So I shied away from that. And the world of theater was opened up to me. And I saw this world where I could sing and act, but I could sing and sing behind these actual characters, which kind of gave me a little more strength. You know, I could hide behind them. So musical theater kind of like took over in my life, and that led into film and television. But having made this transition back here to Georgia, as the young sister was saying, it was a spiritual journey. And during this time, I have grown on such a major level, but also too in the gifts that I've been able to really refine them and just connect them back to the source. So it pushed me into, you know, creating my own musical project, which I'm working on now, which is it's spiritually led. Like I was telling you before, everything that everything that I do is spiritually led. I don't go out on my own anymore. So yeah, I'm all about spirit. I'm all about connecting to source. I'm all about living that day in and day out and seeing the results of that.
So now I have a question for both of you young ladies. You both are very attractive, black, melanated queens. Do you find it hard to maintain a relationship with men today because of how much you move around, of how much like you have to, both of you guys are like social. You guys have to be basically among crowds. You got to smile, you got to shake hands, you got to, I don't know about hugging anymore with cold, whatever, but you know, you guys have to, you basically belong more to the people than a particular relationship. Is that tough on finding a relationship or finding a relationship or maintaining a relationship? We'll go with you first, Famecia, and then you, Angie.
Well, I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been married for 3 years now. We've been together for 4 years altogether. Yeah, going on 5. So, no, I think you really have to have a sense of self. Before this, you know, I'd run into situations where some men may be intimidated, but you know, that all comes with the territory. Like I said, I think it's about having a sense of self and what you want and what you're looking for. And I don't think you can really, you know, go wrong with that. And when you do find a good person, that person is going to support you and be there in your corner. You won't really feel the opposition. And if you do, then you kind of know that's not the right fit for you.
Okay, Ange.
So you said, yeah, I'm not social. to be clear, I'm a friendly person, but I'm not really social. My business is actually virtual.
Oh, okay.
Created this business in a virtual platform. It's actually a very new business. When I was in the field doing real estate, I no longer do real estate sales. I'm only a real estate consultant now, and I'm actually just got a scholarship for my program to be an appraiser. So I'm really grateful for that. But I'll say moving around, well, I wasn't even looking for a relationship, truth be told. Like when I left Georgia, I didn't want a relationship. I wasn't focused on a relationship. I was more so focused on myself because I know I was starting over, right? So going through that process was fine. I dated, you know, after a while I dated. Dating for me has never been hard. And I've never found dating challenging at all. Only thing for me was determining what I wanted and finding what I wanted and someone who I was equally yoked with. So that was my path to dating, and I didn't want to waste a whole lot of time. So I didn't do too much of it. I just kind of focused on business, and even to this day, at 40 years old, still kind of focused on business. But I did actually meet my life partner before moving to Florida. I met him through a relative. So that was my thing. I wasn't really meeting people directly, but I remember before deciding to move to Florida, I had a dream, right? This is how I knew I was moving to Florida. I had a dream that I was buying a house, and there was a man that was with me. I didn't know who this man was. And I was dating, actually. I was dating a couple of people at this time. And, but maybe 2 months after having this dream, I met the person that I'm with now. So, yeah. And he actually lives in Florida.
Wow.
So,
So, from what I just heard, you guys basically said similar things in that it really wasn't difficult to find somebody who was evenly yoked with you and accepted you for all of the things that you have going on. So why do you think there are so many sisters who have that complaint that it's very difficult to find a life partner in today's climate? Do you think that it's because they're looking in the wrong places, or are their standards too low, or their standards too high? We'll start with you, Angie.
yeah, I'll say this. Because in 2020, when everything shut down, I was dating somebody, and I realized in this dating situation that I had some toxic stuff that I needed to deal with, because I realized me and this person, we were like this. We were bumping heads, and it just wasn't healthy. And I had never, I can't say I've never experienced that, because Reg, firsthand that I have experienced being confrontational. But I knew that I needed help. And so what I decided to do was take matters into my own hands, and I got therapy. I went to therapy because I didn't want to have those kind of relationships. So I had to figure out what I needed to do to be the best version of myself. And then on top of that, I got relationship coaching in 2020 through a feminine energy coach. So I then learned how to tap into my feminine, because coming from the place I come from and coming from a family of strong women, we tend to be strong. We're strong-minded, strong-willed, strong this, strong that. We're independent. We do everything on our own. And doing that kind of makes us naturally become more masculine. Place I come from.
Sorry.
Yeah, I if I can piggyback off of that, I agree. When I met my husband, I didn't realize how broken I was. I was so used to being independent, taking care of myself, not really dependent on a man. So I kind of thought I had things together. And that was really because I didn't really want to face and do a lot of the work that I know I needed to do to really find me. And I think that's the key. It's inward. It's an inward look versus looking outside for that somebody to complete you or make you who you are. You really have to already be that complete package before you meet that person. That's really ideal, right? So I think today, I can speak for myself. I was afraid to do that work because I knew it was a lot of ugliness inside of me. I knew it was a lot of hurt that I hadn't faced and needed to deal with. And luckily for me, the man that came into my life was strong enough and he was equipped. We are equally yoked. So we were able to really lock in and do what needed to be done in order to make our unit strong. So now I can reflect those things that God really wants me to reflect when I meet that person that's matched for me. But if I didn't have a sense of who I was and wasn't willing to do the work to heal and get through all that generational trauma, sexual trauma that I had experienced from the military, unhealthy behaviors that was passed on from my father, watching my father go through, he was a woman's man, but I was young watching him go from one woman to one woman, and I'm seeing my mom be very, very broken and not understanding where she's coming from. But I'm looking at my father, and it's like he's the all end all be all, when really the strong one was my mom, because she had to pick up the pieces on her own and find who she was after she had went through all of that hurt. Right. And it was something that I had to watch her go through and didn't understand. But until I looked inside, I was able to really do the work and find who was meant for me.
Well, I heard Angie mentioned counseling. Do you advocate for Black people in general, but specifically Black women? Do you advocate for them to seek professional counseling, or is it something that you feel is a luxury, not necessary in the healing process?
I think if you have access to it, use it. Use it. It doesn't hurt, but you may not have access to that. You may not be able to afford going to a therapist. You have to find good people in your community that you can talk to, or even in your family, but you have to be really picky when it comes to that, because a lot of people will just project their own hurt. So it's kind of dicey when it comes to that. So I'd say if you have the opportunity to seek help, therapy wise, I say go for it. Most definitely.
And I just want to add to that, therapy is not that expensive. In the Black community, we spend a whole lot of money. We spend money. When we say we don't have it, it comes out of somewhere to buy certain things. I know people that spend a lot of money, especially on food. The amount of money we spend on food and clothes and these luxuries, we can definitely put towards our own emotional and mental health. And then the cool thing about therapy now, counseling, I did mine online. They did it during COVID, so they weren't taking people. So now you have it where you can do it virtually, which costs a whole lot less than actually sitting on somebody's couch or laying on someone's couch. It makes it a whole lot more affordable. And if you have health insurance through your employer, my employer covered mine 100%. I didn't have to come out of the pocket. Mine came straight out from my insurance. So.
Yeah, I definitely say it's a good idea, to do. That's one of the main things that, we shy away from. We think that, oh, you don't need help, or you need the Lord, or, just go to church. And it's more than that. Everybody has different trauma, different hurt, different things that they need help with. And it's just going to take different methods to get to those different people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that leads me to my next topic, and I promise we'll only stay on this for a brief second, because it's been overly talked about. But are you two familiar with Kevin Samuels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely.
Kevin Samuels has shot up in popularity, I feel, because deep down inside, a lot of women are seeking counsel. So the people who are like, this guy is terrible, or he's rude, or he's mean, like, these women are coming into his show. And so his show is based on viewership and people calling in to seek his counsel about different topics. Now, you said you're really familiar with him, but what is your take on him, Angelina? We'll start with you and then go to you, Famecia. Do you think he's being productive, or do you think he's hurting the Black community with what he's doing? He basically has become somewhat of a bully with the way that he speaks to these women who seek his counsel.
I've taken a couple of minutes to look him up, and I've seen a few clips of him. Now, the few clips that I've seen of him, one, he hung up on a lady, but she was playing games over the phone, right? Then I heard him talk to another couple of women, and he was very frank. It wasn't that his advice was bad. It wasn't that his advice was wrong, but he was very frank and he was straight up. I kind of agreed with him and what he put out there. I'm pretty sure he could hurt some people's feelings, but I don't know if I know that much of him to be able to have a really strong opinion, but I will say this. I think that people reach out to him out of curiosity. I think it's all out of curiosity because he has become this popular figure. He's just like another trending topic. Social media kind of does that with people, and that's how he got his fame. So I'm not sure his credentials. I'm not sure how relevant he really is, but I think it's all out of curiosity.
Okay, Famecia, you?
He's very interesting, and I think that sometimes we reach out because we want to hear what we already know,
Mm.
or things that we may be feeling. Sometimes that person can say something in a way that'll give you that extra push. Like she's saying, I've seen some of the things that I've watched, maybe one or two of his interviews, and the way that he delivers is harsh, but some of the stuff that he's saying has some truth to it. But I think he's an entertainer too, and a lot of that delivery is a part of entertaining.
Mhm.
But and I think the women, if you reach out knowing what he does and how he does it, then I think that's kind of what you're looking for. But Black women, we've gone through it. We have gone through it, and it's time for our men to stand up on our behalf and champion and rally for us. And that means there's a right way to talk to people, especially the queens. That's all I gotta say about Kevin Samuels.
So this is my quick, brief opinion on that. I feel like you can say a lot of stuff about people, except for what's really wrong. And that's when what I mean, like the hit dog will holler, and also for somebody who majored in public relations, and I understand how marketing and branding works, a lot of those callers are set up. Like they're actresses that okay, we're gonna have you call in and say that this is your issue, just so this can be entertaining, for us to do the back and forth. I really honestly believe that some of those calls are set up where okay, you're gonna call in, you're gonna say this, and this is the
Yeah.
path it's gonna take. But I mean, for the main part, the times when people say that he's being the most respectful is when he's addressing weight, when he's addressing the health issue, and health is probably, I would say, if number one, definitely top three issues with the Black community, and there's a reason why collectively we're not as healthy as we're supposed to be. The habits that we picked up from our families, from our mothers, our grandmothers, we had to make use of the worst parts of the animal or those types of food. We had to doctor them up to make them taste good because they were not good for us. Or it was just, stuff that was unfit for human consumption, but then we made it fit. And basically those recipes were passed down through years. So there's a reason why, diabetes, people say diabetes run in my family. No, it's the attitude and the habits that you have that cause diabetes. So it's the habits that run in your family, not necessarily, the actual disease. So when he says stuff, and a lot of us, and I'm one of these guys, a lot of us are attracted to women that are larger in size because our mothers, subconsciously, our mothers, our grandmothers were bigger women, and those were our examples of beauty. And subconsciously, we equate you with, the lady who used to take care of us, the lady who was, like the most important woman in our life. So a lot of us are seeking women that remind us of our elders or the matriarchs in our family. So like collectively, we have to stop pushing people. In the past, I have even encouraged, relationships like, yo, you might want to put on the pounds. You kind of skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, not even thinking about the health ramifications. But, that's when I was much younger and didn't understand, but again, now it's the same thing. You look on TV, you have women that are seeking surgery in order to, fulfill this fantasy that most Black men have of what the Black woman is supposed to be like or supposed to look like. So I think that there's a lot there. So let's move off of Kevin Samuels. I would like to get your opinion as a Black woman. What do you feel is the number one issue plaguing the Black male, female / family relationships? Because it is a big deal. Dr. Umar, who's one of my favorite people, he talks a lot about it. But I would like to know from a sister's point of view, from a queen's point of view, what do you feel is the biggest hurdle that we got to deal with in order to get things back right with the Black family?
We are so in a interesting time. I have never seen Black men and women in the condition that we're in now. I've never seen it like this ever before. Maybe I didn't pay attention to it, but maybe social media is bringing it out. But I'm just like, where have we gone wrong? It's so much, Reg. There's a lot. I see a lot of men bashing Black women. Not just, I'm going to say it. I see a lot of brothers bashing women. I see women bashing brothers publicly. I think the respect of women and men has gone downhill. I think the empathy is lacking. A lot of it just has a lot to do. I don't know what, I can't say what I feel like it has a lot to do with, but I just believe that everything starts at home. I wholeheartedly believe that. And if the home front, whether it be how you were raised as a child to just whatever you're dealing with at home, I think that has a lot to do with it. But I just feel like the communication, lack of respect, and lack of empathy is so evident right now. I just don't know what the root of the issue is.
I see a lot going on, but I also see that it's just a lot of us it all boils down to, a sense of who we are as a people. I think that we've kind of lost that, and become dependent on other cultures, for that validation that we already have here. That's why they set up these systems to continue to rob us of the truth of our power and who we are and what we're capable of. And I think we need to slow down, and it'll sound like a recurring theme for me because that's just the season that I'm in, of connecting back to your source, who you are. You cannot raise a family if you're lost yourself. Our men need to know that they're kings and really believe that they're kings, and they've been so stripped of that. It's just like a nut that, the lug nut, or it's worn down. It just won't fit tight on there anymore because it's been toiled over so much.
Right.
We got to get back to a sense of who we are as a people. And I think in a lot of ways, and this might sound crazy, segregation might have been one of our greatest strengths because we only had, we did some amazing things when we could only look in this circle for everything that we needed. And once that was lifted, I feel we became crippled that way. So I think that the key to that is knowing who we are.
My grandmother used to say, not all change is good change.
There you go.
And so a lot of things that was perceived as, oh, okay, well, we coming up because now this and this is different. But what was already in place was working. Like what was already in place was working. Like you can look at the Black family in the 50s and 60s when things were much harder. Literally, you could like be lynched, leaving your home back then, literally. But yet, the family unit was tighter back then,
right?
Because there were things that were in place that made things that way. Do you feel that things can turn around, and if so, like what are the things that has to happen to make those things turn around? And let me just say to the people, I dealt with a very tough situation recently. It was kind of public, with a basketball coaching position. And one of the first people to reach out to me was Famecia in my inbox, just to remind me of how important and impactful that I was. It brought tears to my eyes, honestly. Um, because it wasn't. I don't even think you mentioned basketball in it. It was just a listen, brother. I know you're going through something, but this is just somebody telling you that you can handle it and bigger things are coming. So I believe that type of encouragement used to be commonplace in the Black community, but it's not anymore. It's like, again, here you are on TV doing movies and all that type of stuff, and you felt the need to inbox me at this time to be like, Reg, you're a king, and you're gonna be okay. And that's all that I think Black men want from Black women. But a lot of times there's other stuff that comes along with that. But I just wanted to share that because even though that was a very personal moment, I just wanted the people to know that you practice what you preach, and because you've done that for me. And again, I think you might have been the first person to hit my inbox when it came out immediately to let me know, listen, I see you, and I know that you're going to get through this. And I again, I don't see that happening enough. Where can the reconnect happen from? And I know I'm harping on these particular topics a lot more because this is one of the only times that I've had two sisters at the same time. And I wanted that to be the thing because I don't want everyone to just believe that all we do is beef with each other. You two are two of my best friends, and there's a lot of positive energy that happens between male female that I think Black males and Black females that I think needs to be promoted more. It's not all negative. So that's the reason why I'm talking about these topics. But basically, the question is, how do we reconnect? Where does it start? Is it even possible to rebuild the Black family?
It is. I definitely think so. It starts with us, though. This is how it starts. You have to do what you can do in your own homes and live that thing. One of the best things I've witnessed in having met my husband is everything that he said to me of who he was. I got a chance to watch him live that thing. It was a lifestyle. His spiritual life, his dedication to, fasting twice a week and, encouraging brothers in his community. I watch him day in, day out do this thing and the sacrifices that he makes on a daily basis that nobody see. That was one of the reasons why I reached out to you. Most of us will look at the person that's already in the spotlight getting, once they're there and they're getting all the praise from everyone else, then it's easier to encourage that person. But it's harder to encourage the person that you see in the mud day in and day out, reaching back for other people, pulling them out, helping wash them off and get them on solid ground, and then teaching them how to reach back and grab that next person. And I've watched you do that for so many children in our neighborhood, but more specifically to bring it even closer to kids in my own family that might not have had that positive male role model in their life at the time. And then here you were with no beats missed, jumping in and taking on the responsibility and not just providing these kids an outlet for their talents through basketball, but providing them a family, mentorship, showing them the opportunities that all the things that they dream and imagine in their mind can actually be attained out here in real life. And you're giving them the tools to be able to accomplish that. I would champion and support anybody that does that because the main question that you're asking, that's how you get stuff to change.
Oh no, you can say still right.
We can have conversations all day, and you see people who do it for years, and nothing moves. But there are things that are happening. There are miracles that are taking place in our own neighborhoods if we have the spiritual eye to see it. And I saw that, and that's why I wanted to continue to encourage you, because one door closed, it may have seemed like it was a bigger opportunity, but greater is around the corner because you've been faithful over the few.
And please.
So yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, how everything starts at home. And Famecia said it too, you know, the home base. But home base is not necessarily our own homes, you know, because a lot of us, some people are not, you know, some people don't have husbands at home. Some people don't have children at home. So home could be the community, home can be the church, home could be wherever your foundation is. But if we're not doing anything, you know, within our own home bases, I think that's where it actually is going to start. And I love how she just sang your praises, Reg, because that's who she just expressed you are is who I've always known you to be. So we need more Reg Hatchets out there, truth be told. We need more mentors, because a lot of homes are broken. You know, there's a lot of broken homes. There's fathers in jail, there's mothers in jail, right? There's children in foster care, there's children being abused. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. So people are reflecting what they see. You know,
and look, that's how cunning the enemy can be too. When he sees the impact, like you're asking a question of how we're gonna change Black families. Well, you had a direct impact and still have a direct impact to these young men who will become fathers to the children of our next generation. So of course there was gonna be upset with you raising these strong men, giving them, this clear path to obtain education, a career. Like, yeah, you were gonna get some opposition. So that's why,
and
I
girls,
say you keep pressing. Yes, and of course, Dejanay, my very own cousin, has done amazing under your mentorship. Like, she's family. I've watched her become excited about this sport, and being the only girl, but still kicking, nothing shook her because she had the confidence that you endowed her with, and her mom, and her family said, you've got the right people around you now. You can go and fly and do this. And look at her. She's graduating with her master's,
wow.
Yeah, she's doing incredible. But
she just got her master's the other day, and
good Lord, a master. How old is she now?
Back at yourself and all the others that you've helped, and had a hand in their success, and be like, you know what? I'm making some ripples out here.
She'll be 24 in a week.
24 hasn't been that long.
In a few years, yeah. When you met her, she was like 6 or 7, I think.
She was a little girl.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest gifts that I could receive is the fact that her career path, she wants to be a coach because it was a coach who changed her life.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's the reason why she wants to do the same thing, because a coach came and shook her whole world up and made her see the world differently. So now, Dr. Umar says, and I agree with him, that it was done strategically to fast track the Black woman to a point where financially, educationally, and socially, she out-earns and outranks her mate, her man. This is inside the Black community is the only community that's prevalent. Like, Chinese men still make more than just women. White men still make more than white women. Hispanic men still make more than Hispanic women. Black women are the only women who out-earn their mate. Dr. Umar believes this was done strategically because it now makes the woman like the man is a luxury.
That's right.
and not a necessity.
It's true.
You see that now, and there's an album out, my girl, Jasmine Sullivan.
Hotels, yeah,
hotels.
yeah.
And that is one of the things one of the young ladies says is because of how she grew up, she ain't trying to get with a guy that is struggling, may not, have finances going like she does. So she's gonna overlook that brother, and maybe they'll overlook the race altogether. And and then you kind of are perpetuating what they already want is the whitewashing of our culture.
Even if you look at the government assistance, housing, WIC,
Yes.
you anything, any type of assistance, the woman can't get it if she has a man.
No, you can't.
So
Yeah.
you got so even if you do have a man, you got to hide this stuff, or he can't be there when the people come, and you know what I'm saying. It's causing the division of the black family. Was this done strategically? You know, what I mean, I think we both. I mean, we all agree that it definitely was done strategically, but it's hard to come back from that because I don't foresee anytime in the near future black men being able to close that gap because it happens in school with the special education.
Right.
That's where they put the young black boys in the SPED classes and make sure that they are not learning at the same rate as everybody else. So when they graduate, they don't have the skills to even catch up or to even be on par with their female counterpart. So they're even doing it as early as like second and third grade, throwing like young boys, they're medicating them and throwing them in special ed class and convincing them that they can't learn because they learn differently. And so that perpetuates the whole, you're not going to be able to catch your female counterpart. So again, I would like to hear both of your takes on that being strategic and like what can we do? Is there a way to change that?
We have to teach our own kids. We have to get our own schools, and we have to teach our own kids about the true history of us. I think, from England, when they first came here and, we discovered America, all this stuff was built on principles of enslavement. It was never set up with us in mind to come up or to be the benefactor of any of these systems. We're always the ones that's asked out on the end of this, right? And it's done intentionally. So all of these things are always, you'll see it's to continue to strip the black man of his power, of who he is. So that's what you're seeing done now, because they're fearing the fact that maybe some people are becoming awake to this and they want to move this. So now they have to find new systems and ways to entrap them. You can only get so far because you may fall into here. Just like this loan, like you hear all this PPP and people laughing. It's just now that we've become aware that a majority of our men are locked up under bogus ass laws and principles that they have no business being locked up in the first place. When they have to start lifting this shit and letting these people go, what's the other way we're going to be able to connect and keep more people coming in so we can keep this money rolling? How are we going to keep trapping them up? We always move from a place of lack. And until we stop thinking that we're always moving and operating from a place of lack, I think we can make some changes.
So it's the mindset.
Yeah.
So of course, everything once again starting at home, but the shifting of the mind, the transforming of the mind, is a big one because just like she said, starting with the children, but even starting with the adults, because the adults have to teach the children. So coming up with different because at the end of the day, Reggie, you mentioned the kids, getting put under medication, being put in special ed classes. Remember, in my past life, I was a teacher at an alternative school. Firsthand, I remember seeing the kids being put on medication. But the one thing that I learned about working in the alternative school system was if the child was marked absent and he was actually in juvenile, he was marked present. So I learned that all the systems are tied together, from the school system, prison system, This is when I started studying about the school to prison pipeline. So all of it is interconnected. But what we have to do is actually transform our minds. We have to really get our money right. We got to get our finances in order, because the economic system is really, what's going to help elevate us in some form or fashion, because the other systems are not going to work. And this, at the end of the day, we got black and white, but the one thing that does that matters within this country is green.
Yeah, I feel like the Famecia mentioned the PPP loan. That was damn near entrapment.
Absolutely.
They was dangling that money in front of black folks, and everybody applied for it, and the feds is coming to that and lock people up. You know what I mean? Because it was like a quick, you can get up to 20 grand, and
that's right.
Who's not gonna try that when you live in check to check? You get what I'm saying? Like, again, the American dream never really applied to us. Like, so when they dangle that money in front of a lot of our people, all you gotta do is lie here and change this. We went for it, but again, there should be laws against that. That's entrapment.
It is, but that's their system. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's how they want to get us caught up. That's why I said we have to transform our minds.
That's right.
And I think for me,
they make sure that they cover themselves with the small print that they know will overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and
he did tell you it was in here. You signed right here that you understood this.
Right.
And you like, I didn't even see that. Like, where was that?
Yeah, you need to go.
All I saw was the 20,000. That's
it. But the mindset that I'm referring to is the lack mindset. If we continue, even though we might be lacking, using words like broke, we got to stop using words broke. Yeah. We got to get out the lack mindset, because what we think is, is what is. Right. And like I was telling a young lady the other day, I said, we're in a time where you can make money. Technology has given us access to so many different ways to earn income, and not just one, but multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? So there's so many different ways. Like young people, I wish I had access to this technology when I was their age, because I would probably be a billionaire. Truth be told, so, but
you got time. You're gonna still get there. You got time.
Oh, trust me, honey. Like, listen, I don't even need to be a billionaire. As long as I'm in a position where I'm not just helping myself, but I'm helping my community. I'm educating these young people on how to generate wealth for their people, so we can get out this lack. We got to get out the lack, and we got to be able to pass this on to the generations that come after us. And this is why I feel like it's so important to create a legacy and to build generational wealth. It doesn't have to be billions of dollars, but something that you can leave to the next generation where they don't have to, suffer.
I have a friend, he has a finance degree, black dude, very powerful, very smart dude. He's involved with EYL brothers, the Earn Your Leisure brothers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he said, over the next 3 to 5 years, every black person in America can, if they pay attention to the trends and if they read and rewrite things, they can have $1 million liquid to their name over the next 3 to 5 years, because he feels like the pandemic has opened up the floodgates for people to earn money through, like how you said, technology and things like that. He was like, anybody who's not a millionaire after the next 4 or 5 years is going to be mad at themselves for like wasting the opportunity, because it's going to shut down soon. But right now, he's like, this is the right time for and those people that are financially savvy are going to be making 2-3 million over the next 5 years. Because he felt like right now, the way that the money is set up in the businesses, and there's so many people pouring into minority-owned businesses and things like that. But it's the best time for black entrepreneurs right now.
Because you have the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives out there that everyone is. You got the what do you call the minority business contracting grants that you can get, the women contracting grants that you can get. There's so much.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Most definitely. A lot of opportunity, if you want it.
Sorry about that. So we got a couple of minutes left. I would like for both of you guys to tell us like what projects you're working on, if you have any products that you're selling, or any places where the people can find you to if they want to know more about you, or if they want to collect, or you have movies coming out this year or something to that effect.
Yes, we're actually in pre-production for a short film that's kind of surrounding the Black mother experience, um, especially in this climate now. So I am taking a page out of Jordan Peele's book, and yeah, I think it's going to be a powerful short film. I will be speaking more about it soon, and having the platforms and everything where we're going to be on Instagram and Facebook, so you'll be able to see that. But right now, we really want to highlight Fame Academy. That's a virtual academy where we focus on film, acting, musical theater, and energy placement, because it's important for us to first understand that we are energetic beings and that we're tied into this universe through energy, and how we choose to use that energy could hurt us or help us. And I think once we have an understanding of that, then it's easy to now help when it comes to anger management or too much excitement or not paying attention. You can channel those things into something positive. So that's what we're trying to do at Fame Academy.
Wow, it's a beautiful thing. And I think that E part, the energy, is where it separates you from anything else I've ever heard. I've never heard anybody include that. That's super dope.
Thank you. That's how I learned. I grew up with all these characters as a little girl, and singing was something that I grew up doing. So I didn't get the opportunity to go to performing arts school until I was older and actually doing it. So that was something that I said, how many kids have you seen and you're just like, boy, you've been here before. You've got, such personality. There's so many kids like that in our communities that want to do this, don't know where to start. But that's where you start, is teaching them that energy is not a bad energy. It just needs to be harnessed, and I can show you how to shine and really make it work for you. So thank you. That's something that I wanted to set us apart.
Quick question for you, Famecia. Have you ever been approached about doing voiceover work?
Yes. Yes, I have. I had an opportunity at ESPN Radio a few years back before I moved, and I started working with a voiceover coach. So yes, it's something that I've been approached at many times.
I think that there may be a lot of opportunities for you in that area.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Angie?
It's funny you say that, Reg, because that's one of my side jobs.
I know that about you, but
I'm a voice actor. Okay, so I'm gonna just give my website. You can go to legacybuildinghub.com or valuefamilylegacy.com. If you want to book an appointment, I offer free consultations when it comes to wanting to learn about how you can create a legacy either with real estate or with life insurance. I also do retirement planning consultations. We're in a time now. I've been talking to a lot of my peers about their life insurance policies. I had a life insurance policy. It was a term policy. I had it for a long time, and I realized I wasn't getting anything with it. And after working with other carriers, I'm learning about the different policies that they have now. They've made it so much more flexible, especially for young middle-aged people, where they have living benefits, right? So I was like, I would love to benefit off of this insurance policy while I'm alive and not just when I die. So I'm educating my people about those. So if anyone is ever interested in wanting to hear how you can either convert your policy if you have one or get a new one, you can reach me and you can book an appointment on my site. And I just added 2 more services. One is remote online notary services. So I can notarize anywhere in the world online. And then I have my loan signing agent certification. So Yeah, I'm adding on these little services. I'm telling you, right now, we're in the age of technology. We can.
Well, that's super, super duper dope. I've always known you to have your hand in many different pots. I think when I first met you, you were like a promoter, a party promoter, and doing things like that at the I forget the lounge, but
Apache Cafe and the Chili Peppers, all those different places back in the old Atlanta days.
Right. What part of Georgia are you in, Famecia? Are you close to Atlanta?
No, I'm 3 hours southwest of Atlanta. I am in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
I'm closer to Florida than I am Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been a great show. A lot of wealth of information from both of you. I thank you for agreeing to come on with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
You are dope. Both of y'all are very, very dope women, Black women, queens, and I feel like it's important to show a lot of the young sisters and brothers what's possible, what's capable. Both of you guys come from Springfield, Connecticut, Springfield, Massachusetts, Hartford, Connecticut. These are, not glorious and glamorous starts, but you made the most of the life experiences and the energy that you encountered and are now doing great things. So it's important for me to publicly say thank you and I salute you.
Thank you, Reg.
To do. And both of you guys have been great friends to me at times of need. And I think that it's important to have sisters in your life that have your back. Nobody had your back more than a sister. You got male friends that they'll have your back to a certain extent, but you got a sister that's down with you, like, she's showing up, rolling up her sleeves. What do you need me to do? Where you need me at? Who I gotta beat up? You know what I mean?
All day, you already know.
No doubt.
For me, I want to get your information. I want to connect with you. So, Reggie, I don't know, can you do like a group text or something so I can connect with her?
Please. I will. Same thing. I would love that.
I will. I will make that happen. We're gonna try to get. We're gonna try to do like a get together of all these great, powerful minds that I've had on my show, because I feel like all of you guys could network and possibly do things together. We stretch all up and down the East Coast, really. So there's no need for us to not build upon that. We can create our own community of powerful brothers and sisters. So, Blackprint audience, I thank you guys for tuning in again. Thank you to Angie, Griffin, also Famecia Ward. I'll see you guys next episode. Peace.
Be blessed.